Hi stamp and journal lovers, it's Vicky. Welcome to my channel. Today I thought it would be fun to go back in time a little bit. Go back to the start of my stamp obsession. A little bit about how I found out about stamps and my first ever trip specifically to collect stamps. So these are binders by Traveller's Company, and you can put your completed journals inside them for storage purposes, or just to protect them, and they look really nice on a bookshelf or in a cabinet, and I have lots of them. I categorize by year, and mainly they're just housing my travel journals. So let's start with this binder, which has my travel journal for my 2023 trip to Japan. So why am I saying all of this? Well, when I went to Japan at that time, I didn't know anything about stamps, which might seem kind of crazy, right? Now that I'm aware of stamps, I see them everywhere. But back then, I just didn't. Maybe I didn't come across them, or maybe I just didn't, or maybe I was just. It was my first time. Maybe I was just focused on so many things. I don't know. There is one stamp I got, but I don't think it really counts as a stamp. Let me show you. So, right at the back. This stamp. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Let's see. There we go. You can see better. Yes. So if you've been to Tokyo, and you love Traveler's Notebooks, you're probably familiar with the Traveler's Factory Tokyo Station. So I bought this journal there, and then they had a stamp, and I stamped the back of it. And I thought, oh, that's so cute. And that was it. No other stamps. So, yeah, I didn't know anything about train stamps. Nothing. And I still, had a great time. Lots of memories. Did a lot of walking, a lot of things. Really, we managed to squeeze in so much. And I think we were only there for three days. Oh yeah, I still have this little charm on my bag. Yeah, and it was the year of the rabbit, and I was really happy that I had this cute little rabbit paperclip. not because it was year of the rabbit, it just happened, just one of those coincidences, but I thought, oh, that fits really nicely. So yeah. Oh, she lies. I completely forgot about this. Well, okay, it's still from Traveler's Factory, so it doesn't really count, I would say, as a stamp because I didn't know anything about stamp tours or stamp rallies. It just happened to be, oh, that's just Traveler's Company. Those stamps are from there. That's a one-off thing. Oh, how I was wrong. So yeah, basically what happened was, came back from Japan, started filling up my journal because I don't journal when I'm there. I just collect all the ephemera and put it into separate little Ziploc pockets and things, and then I journal when I get home. So once we were home journaling, everything happy as can be, and then I must have opened my Instagram, or I don't know if I was posting at the time, but this trip really got me back into journaling, because before this I hadn't been journaling as much as I used to before I came to Korea. So I think I was going on Instagram to kind of look for inspiration and maybe follow a few journalers and travel journalers and such, but I don't think I was posting anything. I don't really remember. Anyway, I then came across the world of stamping, especially in Japan. And as we probably all know now, if you're here and you love stamps, you know what eki stamps are, right? And that totally blew my mind, because not only do I love trains, I'm not crazy obsessed, but I love trains. Not only do I love trains, but I love all things analog, journaling, you know, being present in the moment. And then can you imagine? I discover about eki stamps, but I'm back in Korea. So I kind of pushed it to the back of my mind. I did a little bit of research online, perhaps, you know, were there something similar in Korea? Couldn't find anything, and I just kind of carried on. Of course, still journaling and still following amazing creators and feeling super envious and all that jazz. And then finally, the time came that I got to go back to Japan. And it wasn't too long after my first trip. So, May 2024. This time, we decided to go to Osaka because, oh my goodness, I hit the camera. I was so excited talking about eki stamps. Okay, so when I finally got to go to Japan again, after learning about eki stamps, I was ready. I was prepared. Well, having said that, I was as prepared as I could have been, because since then I have learned even more and know about even more places. But anyway, I was definitely more prepared than I was the first time, because the first time I didn't know anything. So, so yes, this was a very short trip, just a couple of days. My husband and I went with a group of friends of ours, and so you can see here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, there we go. I hope you can see that okay. So look, my new obsession. Sadly, my first stamp turned out horribly. Haha. Indeed it did. Yes, so this was at Kansai Airport. So when we arrived in Osaka, and we were catching this train actually to get to our hotel. And look, it was a lovely big stamp, really, really nice, satisfying stamp, but you could tell very old. And the ink pad was very dry. So I learned really quickly at that point, okay, I need to make sure that I always have ink on me. So these days I bring, where is it? Wait a second. These days I bring little ink pads like this that don't take up too much space, and I have them in red, blue, purple, I believe, green, which tend to be the kind of colors that stamps are these days. And then, yeah, I can just dab it. I also bring a little piece of paper with me to test the stamp first, just to see the condition. And then if I need my own ink, I will use that. So that's a tip for anyone that didn't know, because I didn't. But still, it's all about the memory, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. But the train looks really cool, doesn't it? It looks like a snowplow. Anyway, so that was my first ever stamp. I was so excited. And then, when did I get? Aha, okay. More eki stamps, yay! I'm not a fan of this page. It's something that I'm still kind of getting used to, is that I take my book out with me when I'm traveling. And then when I see a stamp, I obviously put it in my book. But because I don't journal in the moment and I don't journal during my trips, it's kind of hard to think about the layout, right? And I was obviously thinking like, okay, I'll put a stamp here, like spread it out. But then it kind of made it difficult for this page to come together. You know, this was just one stamp and I already knew that this page would be the tickets. So this almost takes up the full top half of the page. And so that it wasn't that difficult to fill up the rest of the page, right? But this one, yeah. And also this is pink and that's red, and that really throws off the whole page for me. I mean, it shouldn't, but yeah, it's not my favorite page. Still, I love the stamps. Again, this one would have been perfect with some red ink because it's really faded. This one is nice. And number, this is where the area that we were staying in. And like I said, I love trains and this is so cute. I think I was trying to tie in the green from here to bring the pages together. Double pages can be so hard. Anyway, enough waffling. Okay, same kind of situation here, but because there are more stamps, it doesn't look as, do I say bad? I don't want to say bad. I just don't like this page, but this one looks better. The balance of stamps, and then there's just 2 photos, and then a couple of dots and my own stamps and lots of journaling. So this one, it's okay. This was at the top of Osaka Tower. Again, red is such a popular color. I don't know why, because it's not the one that I would choose personally, but still very cute. So yeah, and then this was just, again, still at the top of the tower, but I wanted to include the tickets, so I made like a double spread. A double spread. But I knew at the time, as I was stamping them, I was like, okay, there are lots of stamps here, and I want to include photos too, and also the tickets. So I already was thinking, okay, this is going to be a 4-page spread. So, and this was the first time that I brought out my, let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, the first time I brought my Tokyo edition Traveler's Notebook, which is absolutely gorgeous. Who says you just have to use it in Tokyo? Yeah, I love anything holographic, and it's gorgeous. So I had to take a picture of that. Okay, so let's see. Can I zoom out a little bit? Sorry, I'm still getting used to this whole thingamabob. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. Right, so let's have a look. So no stamps on this page, just food. I love taking pictures of food, especially food in different countries. And don't get me started on Fermi chicken. I could make a whole video about that, but this video is about stamps. I can do a proper flip through of this journal and talk about it if you want. Just let me know in the comments. This is probably my best ever stamp, or best ever stamp of the trip. It just came out really well. You know, no fading, crisp as anything. I believe it was a Eki stamp. Yeah. Or was it a temple stamp? I wrote it down somewhere and I cannot remember because it was so long ago now. So long ago. It was a while ago. But I love that stamp. And I just look at this little cactus. Ow! It's so cute. The weather was gorgeous during this time. It really was. May is just, I think, a wonderful time. Like spring and autumn are just fantastic seasons to go to Japan and Korea. Honestly, it's just not too hot, not too cold, not too humid, not too dry. It's just perfect. Okay, this is a whole nother video in and of itself because it's a stamp, but it's a little bit different. So I think I'll talk about that in a different video and whether they exist in Korea or not. This is probably my, oh no, I'm not supposed to be talking about this journal, but okay, it's just one of my favorite spreads. I really like it. Stamps. Did I get any more? I don't think I did. Oh, okay, so that was it. Yes. So, it hasn't been that long that I have discovered the world of stamping and really become obsessed about it. So the beginning of 2023 was when I first went to Japan, but I didn't know anything about stamps. And then, let me just zoom out again. Okay. So really, my stamp obsession started in 2024. So it really hasn't been that long. And I've collected stamps now in Japan about 3 times, I believe. And I got one in Macau, which was fun. Went to Hong Kong for a holiday and popped over to Macau and found a stamp completely randomly. Now that I'm on TikTok and I see a lot of other creators, I have seen that there are way more stamps in Macau and Hong Kong than I even knew. So there's always that part of me that's like, oh, I need to go back. But luckily I've made some stamp buddies and we have made like a stamp swap group. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get some really cool stamps from other countries that I wouldn't be able to get myself, and obviously, of course, send them stamps from Korea. So yeah, it's my journey into stamp collecting started from Instagram, following some really talented creators, and finally got to Japan myself to collect some stamps, and it kind of spiraled since then. And even though it wasn't that long ago, I would say that even in Korea, there has been a lot more stamp tours and stamp rallies that have popped up that when it didn't seem like there were that many before. And I was looking and I was researching, and it feels like it really exploded in 2025. And there's probably a lot that I still don't know about. I mentioned in my last video that I do sometimes miss out. So I try my best to keep up to date and to keep all of my followers informed, and on my Facebook group, on TikTok, etc. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It was just a hopefully not too long of a trip down memory lane about how I got into stamp collecting. And in future videos, I will share some more of my journals, some more of my travel journals, more chatty, more in depth about the trip itself. And of course, lots of my journals with stamps from Korea. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.